Your voice, your vote, taking over Lee Pitts Live. My name is Kathy Dupree Bruno. I'm a local attorney at Bruno and Prado Law Firm where we practice family, workers' comp, and personal injury. But today I'm here as a concerned citizen. And with me is Audrea Anderson, who's been a community activist, has been in the Fort Myers area for decades, Board of Regents, and retired from Florida Gulf Coast University, as well as Gerri Ware, who has been an activist for decades as well, ran for the school board, and is a retired nurse. Together, we are coming here to talk to you about your voice, your vote. And I'm going to ask Gerri to tell us a little bit how this came about.
Hi, Kathy. Thanks once again for being able to be here on the talk show host with you. But Michael Bazin came here about 2 or 3 weeks ago from 107.5 to help get out the vote. And at that, there are many people there with many questions, and we came up with this answer that we would try to educate them the best that we could about how we can better do getting out this vote.
And one of the things that we wanted to concentrate on is several areas, and I'm going to ask Audrea to tell us about those areas.
Yes, we're here today to share information. We are going to talk about 3 aspects of the ballot: the amendments, gerrymandering, and how you can strengthen your vote.
On the ballot, you're going to find, of course, the candidates. You will have our Rick Scott running for senator, as well as Democrat Bill Nelson. You're going to have David Holden running for the Democrat spot on the congressional district against Francis Rooney, as well as Andrew Gillum running for governor against Mr. Ron DeSantis, the Republican. But in addition to that, there are several amendments to the Constitution of Florida, which we think is very important. And when we were at the last event, a lot of people had questions to that. There are 13 amendments. One of them is not on the ballot, Amendment 8, but there are 12 amendments that you will be voting on. And which ones do you think, Audrea, are some of the ones that we need to talk to the people about today?
Kathy, I really believe we need more information to consider very seriously Amendments 4, 9, and 11.
Amendment 4 is extremely important. Amendment 4 will allow felons who have rehabilitated, paid their dues to society, to have their right to vote restored. Florida is one of 4 states that does not allow felons to automatically have their rights restored. If we pass this amendment, 1.3 million individuals will be able to have that right to vote. Amendment number 9 is about offshore drilling, and this is why these amendments are so confusing. There's 2 provisions in this amendment. One is about offshore drilling, and the other one is about vaping in a business. You know that Florida is very sensitive to the environment, and we have the blue algae, we have the red tide, we have the sludge, and our environment is very precious. So that is Amendment number 9, whether or not you believe that Florida should allow offshore drilling. Finally, Amendment number 11 talks about some discriminatory language that is in some of our statutes with regards to non-citizens who may be legal not being able to have property rights, and that is Amendment number 11. Now, another thing that's on the ballot is whether or not how does the vote impact redistricting and gerrymandering. So I'm going to ask my SOAR, and we are SOARs, the Red Army. I'm going to ask my SOAR, Gerri Ware, to tell us a little bit about gerrymandering.
Okay, Kathy. Now, we know that many tactics are taken to suppress the minority vote. Gerrymandering goes all the way back to 1812 when the governor there by the name of Gerri drew a map and it to district the areas out, to select areas, and it met opposition. However, when he drew it, it resembled a salamander. So that's why it's called gerrymandering, after him and a part of the way it looks. Now, that's also reflected here in Lee County, in the area that I just ran, in District 4. Gerrymandering has taken place there, and this map that Kathy will hold up, it will show you how the population in the black area is diluted to the point where our vote really doesn't count, because we do not have enough voters in that area. If you'll notice, District 4 encompasses North Fort Myers, North Cape, a little bit of the Dunbar area. The other part of the Dunbar area is in the Lehigh area. So this is what we call gerrymandering. When
Describe the colors. What they mean.
the aqua color is the District 4. This is District 5, which is Lehigh. This should be a part of the forum, and they've got 2, 3, and 1. And then, of course, we have areas like 6 that cover the whole area. However, let's go back to gerrymandering. It is a way of suppressing. It's where a party, the ruling party, the legislative party, will manipulate, and they will draw the map to make sure that they can retain the power. So how do we go about, what do we need to do? We need to get out there and vote to change what the legislative body looks like. Because in my notes, I have a little note here that says that as far as minority participation, the process will feature as much diversity as the legislature itself. Right now, we know that there's only one party that is really controlling the governor's mansion as well as the whole legislature. So they dictate everything that goes on with us.
So, Gerri, what is the U.S. Census, the 2020 census that's coming up? How is that going to impact gerrymandering and redistricting?
Okay, what happens every 10 years, the census is done. They take the population and then try to draw the maps. And that's how they decide, supposedly, to equalize things. But of course it isn't, because it's what is done. It's manipulation to favor that particular party that is in control.
So the census is coming up in 2020. They're going to redraw the maps. And this election is important as to who gets into that state legislature to be able to help draw the map.
Yes, because like I said in my notes, the process will feature as much diversity as the legislature itself. And the majority of this legislature now is only to one particular party.
Audrea, can you please share with us the statistics as to who is voting and who is registered to vote in Lee County?
Yes. In our most recent statistics, which would be the primary election from August 28th, we had a total of 120,800 people to vote. Now that represents 27.65% of the electorate. That, to me, is a very low number. And that's one of the reasons we're here today, to make sure that this enthusiasm that's actually riveting the country, that enthusiasm catches fire here in Lee County, yes, and that we get everybody out to vote. Now, there are 3 ways that we can vote. We can vote in the early voting. We can vote in the ballot by mail. And, of course, we can vote on November 6th. And later I'll tell you about some of the locations. But basically, the vote by mail in Lee County has been very successful. More than 64% of the ballots cast in the recent primary came in by mail. It is very strong in Lee County. So I am urging all of you to look around at your family, your friends, yourself, and have them call in and ask for a ballot by mail. You don't need an excuse. You don't need a reason. Dial this number, 239-533-8683. That goes to the Supervisor of Elections office. You ask them for a ballot by mail, they will send it to you. We are expecting our ballots by mail about October 5th. And you may request that ballot anytime from now until October 31st.
And Audrea, for those who want to vote in early voting, or if they want to vote on the day, can you give us the days and times and how that works?
Okay, if you'd like to go to the polls during the early voting session, you may do so. And those dates are October 31st through November 2nd.
October 22nd.
October 22nd, I'm sorry, through November 3rd. Thank you. And Gerri, can you tell us about some of those locations? Of course, we know that we can go to any of those locations if we're voting in the early voting session.
Now, there are 10 locations in Lee County. However, there's not one that's located in the Dunbar particular area. The closest one is the library. However, you may vote in either one of them. If you're out shopping in the Bell Tower, there are 3 voting places in North Cape. There's 3 voting places in the North Fort Myers, and then down south there are 3 locations. Bell Tower is one of them, which is the main election office. So you can go either one of those places. You may vote. Only when you go on November the 6th must you go to your precinct. But early voting, go to either one, the closest place.
Now, I know that there's been a lot of talk about voter ID and what do I need to be able to go to vote. All you need is your Florida driver's license, a state-issued ID, a military ID, a student ID. You can even use a bank card that you signed and has your picture on it. Go online and take a look to make sure that you have the right identification. It is so worth it to go and vote. Ladies, Audrea, can you have any last words for these wonderful people who've been listening to us today?
Yes, I do. Vote by mail. That is the surest way of getting your ballot in. Anything can happen on election day. So if you call this number 239-533-8683, they will mail you a ballot. Don't forget, you must sign the envelope that you've placed your ballot in. Now, if you've had a debilitating illness since you put in your signature, you must register that new signature with the supervisor of election. You must do that, and your vote will definitely count.
And Gerri, do you have any last words?
You can make a difference. Your vote does count. You must go out and vote. And don't forget, take 10 others with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote. It is so important for us to make our voices heard, and this is the time to do it. We encourage you to go out there and make sure that your voice is counted. If you don't speak up, no one's going to speak up for you. It's your right as a citizen and your obligation and your duty. If you would like for Your Voice, Your Vote educational series to come to a church near you or a social organization, or you just want more information, please call us at 239-337-1460. 239-337-1460. Again, thank you to Lee Pitts and Lee Pitts Live for allowing Your Voice, Your Vote to come and take over his show. Thank you.